G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the south side of the map in the colour blue, playing as the Abbasid dynasty, we've got Puppy Paw. And in the west corner of the map, in the colour red, playing as the Mongols representing Izzy Esports, it's MarineLorD. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Call to Arms tournament game. Make sure, I'm calling you to arms right now. If you haven't already, leave a like on this video, but also make sure you check out EGC TV. If you're not familiar with this map, this is Frisian Marshes. This is one of the maps, it's been around for quite a while now, I'll be honest, but it is a custom created map done especially for these kind of tournaments. And I gotta be honest, I love it. And it's a really kind of wild map because at first you look at it and you're like, it's fine. But then you realize, hold on, there's quite a bit of depth to this map. So most maps have you posted up against an opponent in the opposite corner. And often you've got a little bit of space. Like maybe you start somewhere out here. Let's look at the mini-map somewhere around here. And then your opponent starts over on the opposite side. Whereas here, you're not opposite your opponent. You're right next to them and you've got to expand away from them. So it's quite an interesting design on the map. Often you get really tough resource spawns. So here you can see that we've got a double wood line. It's towards the back here. That's going to limit the amount of space that's in the back of the base. And that means that civilizations that have got early aggressive options are really strong here. Civilizations like the Mongols, like the French, like the English, all really good here. What's interesting, in my opinion, is the fact that Puppy Paw's gone for the Abbasid dynasty. And take a look at those sheep here. Of course, it is an Adni map, if I remember correctly, which means there's a lot of sheep, a lot of boars, a lot of wolves. Adni's a map creator for the community, and he, every single time, I remember the first time I came across Adni's name was in the beta for Age of Empires 4. He was a Rus main. All he played was Rus, and all he still plays is Rus, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, he was always complaining there weren't enough wolves on the map, or, you know, there weren't enough sheep on the map because he's a Rus player. Meanwhile, I'm on the other side just saying, just give me an option just to mute the wolf sound and I will be happy. I'll be forever in your debt. But speaking of debt right now, MarineLorD going into a little bit of early debt here with the stone. Going to be starting that double production of spearmen. Getting them out nice and early. On the other side of the map, though, already we've got that military wing coming through. And I love this response because this is such an interesting response. We've seen this before. It's so smart from the Abbasid dynasty. They basically have to invest nothing to defend against this early aggression. Think about it. It's going to take some time for this villager to come out over here. It's going to take another 60 seconds before that villager finishes the outpost that it's building. But then once it is complete... Oh, and we do actually see a little bit of a mistake made right there from Puppy Paw, deleting the mining camp. And it looks like the arrow from the Khan did come off. So that's going to mean that a nice little bonus is given over to MarineLorD. So a rare mistake coming out there from Puppy Paw. But essentially, it's going to mean that you can defend nice and early on. 60 seconds. There it is. Start the timer. And all of a sudden, you're going to have units. So those units, they will spawn from the House of Wisdom. As long as there's housing population for them to spawn, then they will be there. And you can see right now, MarineLorD going to come into the back of the base here. MarineLorD, my friend, are you aware that your enemy is making a military wing? I suspect he might be, but the town center is actually going to cover it. It's interesting to see the town center. You click on it, and it's like, yeah, this is the range of the town center. It's like, it's not actually the range of the town center. It's shooting shots out over here. So it's not even going to matter. Even at this point, you could have gone for the Eco Wing. You could have gone for Culture Wing. You could have done whatever you wanted, and you're still not going to be really hurt that much. Now, speaking of being hurt that much, MarineLorD's only gone for the 4 spearmen. That's it. We did see him drop down the silver tree for a little bit there. This is a really good map for trade. Opts for the deer stones instead. So a little bit of a mix-up, a little bit of a switch-up right there from MarineLorD. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a look at our brand new military wing. Let's take a look at it as it rises from the depths. Boom. There it is, baby. It's 2 archers, 2 spearmen. Everyone's coming out. Great time to do it. 2023. If there's a year to do it, that's going to be it. I like the way that we're getting more progressive of time. I mean, I say this, we're getting more progressive as time goes on, but at the same time, it's like there are more and more dictatorships that just seem to be opening up around the world. There's new placements for them absolutely everywhere. Anyway, that's another video. That's another story. 6 villagers on the deer stones for MarineLorD at the moment. We're right on board with him as he looks to defend against this early aggression. Keep in mind there are 2 archers with this. We can see him throwing down the stable here. The trouble that he's going to have is that he's got spears against spears and archers. So he adds in the horsemen, and all of a sudden, well, he can deal with the archers, but how does he deal with the enemy spears that are killing his horsemen? He needs to find those archers as well. So he can't just only go for this. It means that this is still somewhat susceptible out here, unless there's some really good micro that comes in from MarineLorD. Age Up Now comes through from MarineLorD. Of course, that's that deer stones. We don't see any of the production happening just yet. Check back in on the other side of the map. See exactly what's going on with Puppy Paw. It looks like it's going to be a second town center kind of going to be coming up here. So often people would be looking at this saying, why did you go military wing? It doesn't really make sense. Why are you going military wing if you're going to go for a second TC, right? Shouldn't you be going for the economic wing? Shouldn't you be looking to get up, you know, those Fertile Crescent TCs scattered all around the map? And yeah, you should, and it sounds great. But at the end of the day, if I have to invest 150 wood into an archery range to defend against this attack that's happening, and then 50 wood per archer, and then maybe I need 2 archers, all of a sudden I'm quite behind on where I should be. Whereas here, I've got the TC down before 6 minutes, guaranteed every single time. So it gives you that 100% guarantee that you're not going to be affected, you're not going to be pushed behind from where you thought you were going to be, if that makes sense. So I think it's a nice read by Puppy Paw here in this matchup. Of course, it's one of those matchups that is interesting when it gets towards the late game as well, because these are the only 2 civilizations that can build siege out on the battlefield. So I'm going to be expecting to see a lot of that if this game does go late. But speaking of late game, take a look at this. The Keshet going to be coming out early on in this game. 6 minutes and 30 seconds through. MarineLorD makes his way towards the south base. Unfortunately, runs into that town center. He's now aware of it though, so we'll begin to look to target it. Now, one of the other things I mentioned is that you're expanding towards your enemy, or I shouldn't say towards, away from your enemy. Yet here we do see Puppy Paw expanding towards his enemy. There is this tree line in the middle that kind of gives him a good little bit of a natural wall, a little bit of a natural block. So, you know, MarineLorD might see this and think, oh, I'm not going to bother attacking here, or it's a bit too hard to attack here. I'm not going to, you know, I don't really like my chances. That's exactly where he's looking to tie this wall in with it as well. So smart job by Puppy Paw to recognize that. But normally, the most common thing that you see players do is look to expand up and away from the enemy, up where it's safer. The problem is if you do that, now all of a sudden you've got bases that become siloed. You've got one base, and then you've got a second base, and they're quite far away from each other, because realistically the best space for a TC over here is, you know, somewhere around this big bit of fish. That's about it. There's nothing really that good over here. I mean, you could throw it down on the deer, or even throw it down over here and then push the deer over. But even then, it's, you know, look how far away you are. It's not an easy sell. Not at all. So I think it's a smart move for Puppy Paw to actually go for this. It's still a little bit far, but it covers 3 resources. It's pretty effective. I like it. Let's check in on the other side of the map as MarineLorD does one of the most unusual plays I can think I will say that I've ever seen a Mongol player do. MarineLorD has gone for the deer stones and has begun trading, double trading immediately. Is this the ultimate, you know, we have seen the ultimate mind games coming out for a while now, where you go for a landmark. So civilizations have a choice between 2 landmarks, and going for one landmark sort of telegraphs your strategy, right? If I see my enemies going for a trade landmark, then I suspect they're going for a trade strategy. They might not pull it out straight away, but it's always in the back of my head. What MarineLorD's doing is saying, hey, I'm not going for a trade strategy. I'm going for a deer stone strategy. That means I'm going to be going to kill you in the feudal age. That means maybe I'm going to rise up to the castle age and then take you out there. I am not thinking about trade at all. That's what MarineLorD's selling. Okay, and Puppy Paw's buying it at the moment, because Puppy Paw, he's got no scouts. He's got absolutely no information about what his enemy is up to. He just thinks it's all standard, all usual shenanigans. You can see I was going to say he's kind of leaning towards the castle age. He's not at all leaning towards the castle age at the moment. But really smart by MarineLorD. And so with the 2 markets, he's actually going to be producing traders pretty damn quickly, one every 25 seconds, which is faster than the town centers down here. So he will effectively outboom his opponent. Now, keep in mind, obviously, trade has been nerfed recently, but these traders, these are some of the best traders in the game. I remember I made a post on Reddit not too long ago, maybe a year or so ago. I was comparing all the traders. And once the new civilizations got announced, the Malians, the Ottomans, I compared them just simply to all the other trading civs, simply because both of those civilizations had good trade options. And they were the good old days. You guys remember the trade trick that happened where you chucked the markets up to the corner? Well, you don't have to explain that one anymore, Mr. Drongo. It's not in the game. It doesn't exist. So now we just do this full length of the map thing and just collect our gold at the end of the day. And that's exactly what MarineLorD's going to be doing here. So how does he invest this gold? There's a couple of different options for him, but the most obvious one is just going to be through upgrades. Start it out small, start it out slow, use that gold, reinvest that gold into traders first, and then into upgrades, and then you can look at the Castle Age once that food economy really starts to flow in. But in the meantime, he's going to have quite the surplus of gold, and we can actually switch it over now to the income as we've got some Keshiks looking to try and make their way through. Just keeping the finger on the pulse there, just saying, hey, you're still awake, buddy. Yep, good stuff. But surely Puppy Paw's got to know something's up, right? No Castle Age. No, there's no other information. There's no pushing that's coming in. There's no Castle Age. He only sees 3 Keshiks, so he needs to, well, he should know right now that something is up. Interestingly, we do start to see these upgrades coming through, though. Could there be a chance that Puppy Paw looks to come through with a push? Now, if there's any kind of push here that the Abbasid are particularly decent with, it is the Spearman Archer push. A push or a combination of units that for the Abbasid, it's arguably one of their best comps. So number 1 is they've got Phalanx, which increases the range of Spearmen. And number 2 is that they've got Combos, which increase the attack speed of archers. So these 2 units, often used in the Feudal Age, get sidelined quite a bit when it comes to the Castle Age. I mean, they don't get sidelined, but well, no, I think sideline is the correct term. They're not playing in the starting 5. That is for sure. You're going for your knights. You're going for your men-at-arms. You're calling the crossbows. You're saying, hey, guys, can you come help out? Your mangoes, all that good stuff. And then if you need them, I'll get some archers, I guess. But for the Abbasid dynasty, it's a different story. The archers, they are your point guard right now of your Age of Empires basketball team. These guys for the Abbasid dynasty. But speaking of guards, speaking of points, take a look at this. We've got 22 traders coming up now for MarineLorD. A bit of a boomy game early on in this one. 11 minutes, 44 seconds in. Barely any units going down. It looks like a villager does go down. It's going to be the first one of the game. Didn't catch it on the camera, but would you really want to? Looked like a pretty brutal death to me. Age up now coming through. It's going to be Puppy Paw going with the Eco Wing. Keep in mind, he did open with the military wing, which means he's got boot camp as well as combos still available for him. Once he gets to the Castle Age, he'll be looking for it. So one of the things I would love to see from Puppy Paw is keeping this heavy amount of villagers on gold. This is really important. These villagers, though. You want to... this is it. This is perfect. But then he moved the vills off. So you want a whole bunch of villagers on gold right now. And the idea is that you want to do a big push. You get +2 ranged armor, +2 ranged attack, composite bows, and boot camp all together, all straight after one another. And then you go. And at the same time, while you're going across the map, you're looking to drop down that mangonel. And once you've got that mangonel, you are just making sure that your enemy has no response whatsoever because they're in the Feudal Age. Now, of course, MarineLorD knows that. He knows that something might be up. He's got quite a bit of a military mass here, but surely he knows at this point in the game, 12 minutes in, 13 minutes in, his game sense is pretty damn good that his enemy may be up to something, and that something may be the Castle Age. 36 seconds to go on that one. Eco Wing coming through. What's the plan with the Eco Wing, though? Why the Eco Wing here? Why not the Culture Wing? You know, you take the Culture Wing, you go for a nice quick age up to Imperial, or a nice cheap age up to Imperial. You're paying the same price that the Holy Roman Empire players get to pay, rather. I'm curious what the decision was here. Is it just looking for agriculture? Maybe just Fertile Crescent? Because he's going to... Actually, it's probably Fertile Crescent because he needs to do the farm transition, reduce the cost of the farms. Makes perfect sense. I like it. All right, well, big army coming through. Puppy Paw. Not a huge amount of spears. Only the 9 for now, but the archer number is building. He's already picked up those +1 ranged armors, +1 ranged attack, the most important upgrades. And there they are coming through right now. Let's take a look and see what he clicks. He's got plenty of gold in the bank. There's combos. There's veterancy on the archers. Expect to see +2 ranged attack coming through as well. Come on, click it, Puppy Paw. I know you want to. Puppy Paw, click it. There it is. No, it's veteran spearman. It's veterancy on the spearman. Probably the better choice over +2 ranged attack at this point in the game. Even though you've only got the 10 spears. But the Cruel Tide going to be coming down now from MarineLorD. Now, keep in mind, by the time the Abbasid player gets over towards the Mongol base, Mongol player will be in the Castle Age, ready to respond. Now, speaking of responses, we do see the Blacksmith was on the Uvu. However, siege engineering and improved siege engineering not yet researched, which means you're not going to be able to build those Springalds quickly if the enemy does potentially look to go for something like a mangonel in the field. So we'll have to wait and see whether that's going to be happening or not, because it could look to turn the tides as the age up now comes through. MarineLorD reaching the Castle Age. The Cruel Tide going to be moved towards the front out undoubtedly. Undoubtedly? Do I pronounce the B in undoubtedly? Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. How do you pronounce undoubtedly? Go. All right, YouTube comments. You'd let me know. We've got +2 on the way. We've got boot camp on the way. He's got all the upgrades. And, of course, the most important upgrade of them all. It's already through. It's combos. Take a look at these. 1.12 attack speed. That means every 1.12 seconds, these guys are firing an arrow compared to their opponents, which are doing 1.62 attack speed. That means every 3 seconds, these guys fire 3 shots. These guys only fire 2. It's basically 50% more DPS. That's a lot. That is a huge amount. All right, well, Puppy Paw now. No siege at all here. So the only thing he's going to be able to really do is look to try and pick off these outposts, these smaller little areas, and we start to see traders going to be banked up here. Doesn't want to lose them. Kurultai moving up towards this northern position. Looks like he's got a bit of a charge coming in. Veterancy on those Keshiks as well. As the push comes to shove now. Archers looking to try and pick off a couple of those traders. We'll be able to find it. Archer ball, pretty decent for both of these guys. He's going to be careful against the Keshiks, though. As the spears continue to move forward, he's starting to lose out on the numbers. He's down to 12 spears. Keep in mind, the faster attack speed here for Puppy Paw means that he's going to be able to pick off and snipe down these Keshiks. They are on 6 armor, though. And it's going to mean that he's only dealing with 3 damage a pop here. And you can see him looking to try and focus it down. Kurultai in the backside. Going to continue looking for those heals. Non-stop heals coming through. And Puppy Paw going to look to micro out all of the Keshiks off the front line. Doing a wonderful job of picking off the low health ones. Couple spearmen coming through. He's down at 7, 8 spearmen. Continuing to rally them in now. And makes his way towards the center of the map. Beautiful micro coming in there from Puppy Paw. Archer numbers pretty even. And now we see the Mangonel coming down. We talked about it earlier. This single unit would have changed the outcome of this game had it just been made 60 seconds earlier. This unit here, I mean, to be fair, MarineLorD's the kind of guy who's just going to back up and build his own Spring Lord, but at the same time, we know that he doesn't have improved siege engineering, so it means he's going to have to throw down a siege workshop. It means he's going to have to, there it comes. It means he's going to have to click Spring Lord. So there is a response in Q, and you can immediately see that MarineLorD just knows. He just senses it. He says, I know what you're up to over there, Puppy Paw. Stop wagging that tail. Mango shot comes off. Puppy Paw doesn't look to hide it. No, it's the... Never mind. It's the ARV, the Alien Reproduction Vehicle. Reproduction Vehicle is what they call it. Google it. It's interesting. It's interesting. All right, push coming through now. Mango shot off the top rope. Looks to find it. Kurultai's here, going to be able to heal it up. He's taken out plenty of traders on the way through. Mango shot. Oh, it's a big one onto the back line. He's got to be careful. The Springwood continues to move on down. Keshiks coming in from the south side. There's only a whole bunch of archers here. A handful of spears look to run through as well. Keep in mind they'll get caught out on the front line if they do dare turn around. Mangonel also going to get caught. He looks to try and find his way through. The Springwood on the back chasing. He's trying to unpack. He just can't find it. And now that Mangonel just going to be able to move through. And look at this. He's found space off the top rope once again. Only going to hit 3 of them. The Kurultai continues to heal up. And boy, oh boy, do we have a game on our hands as the Mangonel goes down and the Springwood reigns supreme of this round. Boy, oh boy, do we have ourselves a game. I can tell you what right now, this is feeling really good, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not drinking something right now or eating something, pause the video, go get yourself something to eat, go microwave something in the microwave, go nuke it, as we say in Australia. Come back, put your legs up, and enjoy yourselves some Aussie Drongo, because this is going to get absolutely ridiculous. I can feel this one. MarineLorD, the kind of guy who's not going to give up easily. And he's also not... He's going to put up a really decent fight. That's what's important to note. So the fact that Puppy Paw's in his base right now, it's starting to look a little bit scary for him. Towards that north side, we see once again that Kurultai racing down to place its way. A bit of a Gur rush there, but look at the pickoff coming through right there, taking out, just immediately evaporating that Keshik. And now Archer numbers relatively even, but it's a Mangonel from the top rope from MarineLorD, getting a beautiful shot. Absolutely no heals for him at all in this base. Keep in mind the Kurultai here, the MVP of these fights at the moment is the Kurultai. A little bit of a raid on the backside. It's going to be MarineLorD looking to try and pick off some villagers. Keep in mind he lost 26 workers in that last little sequence over the last 3 to 4 minutes. It's just been trader after trader getting picked off, and now he's looking to play a bit of tit for tat. Not tic-tac-toe though, that is a different game. Tit for tat is it's a more adult game. It's less child-friendly tit for tat. It's similar to the whole eye for an eye thing. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Let's talk about game state. 97 villages, Puppy Paw. 82 villages for MarineLorD. One thing to note, he's got the trade though. Trade's always a big part of my analysis because trade is so important. It acts as a win condition, right? If you don't shut it down, it is going to win the game. And the reality is that what Puppy Paw didn't shut down the trade. It only slowed it. He needs to shut it down. So that means that he needs to get a keep up here. That means he needs to wall this off. That means that he needs to say, no, No means no to MarineLorD, and he hasn't done that yet. And now we see that movement speed coming out. That YAM network going to be playing a big part in this little skirmish. Able to take out just a handful of archers on that backside as they look to try and sneak their way through. Double the army for Puppy Paw at the moment, though. Look at that, 93 versus 59. And now, another attack towards that north side. Now, keep in mind there were siege engines looming around here, roaming around here. Is that the right word? Looming? Yeah, I feel like, yeah, you know, they're kind of hiding, stealthed out in the forest, that sort of thing. Look at this, just parking the archers. He's like, where's the traders? Has anybody seen the traders? Oh, sorry, it's more of, has anybody seen the traders? Sorry, I had to. I saw a post on Reddit the other day. In France, they have vending machines for baguettes. Would you expect anything less from the French? I mean, really? I'm impressed. I feel like the Japanese have had a bit of influence because the Japanese are always about like vending machines. You can get a vending machine for anything in Japan, except for baguettes, incidentally. So there you go. But anyway, we move on. The traders are trying to make their way through MarineLorD. He's going to just be giving them up. But remember, this is fine for him. He can just add in more markets down here. He is absolutely fine, or just more up towards that north side as well. Traders still getting eviscerated here. 33 worker kills against the 3 the MarineLorD's got. Finds a couple more traders on the way back, not paying attention. They're going to be able to get through. You can see he just had him rallied out, and it looks like attack speed going to be thrown down from the Khan here. Mangonel's still making its way up. Now looking to pick off even more of them. Kurultai going to be coming up as well. Look at this, a push on the front side at the same time. There's a reason why he's not paying attention. Now the Gulam going to be joining the battle. Double striking, looking for it on the opponent. There we go. Finds the double strike on the Keshik. Says, sit down. I don't care if you're cavalry. I don't need a bonus against you to take you out. And indeed he does. Behind this, the Khan goes down. And up towards that north side, 40 workers. 42 worker kills now. Keep in mind that does include traders. That's why you see so many of them going down. Beautiful dob here. Oh my lord. Why have I got that? I have no idea why I've got an alarm right now. Apologies. An alarm just came up on my phone. Never mind. It's been fixed. It's been solved. It's been... Oh, I know why. Never mind. I'll have to tell her later. Springled. Attack. Off towards the north. Sorry, they threw off my rhythm. I was in a good rhythm. Why you gotta do me like that? Why you gotta be so rude? That was a good song back in the day. What was that? 2016? 2017? No, it couldn't have been. It's probably about that, wasn't it? Maybe even a bit earlier? 2012? 2013? Come on, no way. I gotta Google that. I'll Google it after this. That's an old song now, isn't it? It's still a banger though. It still goes hard. It still goes hard. And speaking of going hard right now, Puppy Paw looking to go hard. He's got a nice little villager lead here at the moment. Nice little military lead. Population looking pretty solid here. A distinct lack of spearmen, and I think this is intentional. He knows his opponent is full archers. He knows his opponent's got mangonel, so he says, well, let's go for the high health units, the Gulam. And yeah, all right, the Keshik, they do relatively well against them, but Gulam, it doesn't get countered by those archers. And now looking to push forward, going to be able to find it. Tanking up for the front line. Mangonel looking to roll in off the top rope. What can he find? And MarineLorD finds only 2 or 3 bodies, and now we've got that counter push coming in once again, but the villager's going to get caught by surprise. Where are all the villagers? Who knows? Where's the army? Jeez Louise, mate, you forgot to bring your army here. You're going to go for a keep like that? You better be bringing your army along, my friend. Puppy Paw, come on. We went over this in Age of Empires 101. Surely this is something you will rectify, and indeed he does look to rectify now as the Gulams begin to I'm trying to think of a pun for the Gulam, but no, I got nothing at the moment. I'll have to think about it and save it up for later. But there's plenty of vills up here, honestly. 18 vills shouldn't be too long. But look at the numbers from MarineLorD, looking to really pull it out here. You can see the completes around, and Puppy Paw going to have to fall back. Realizes that the keep is not going to come up. Archer numbers starting to look good, and I got to ask the question: how many archers is too many archers? Because I thought this unit was best in the feudal age. It seems that has been proven wrong. It is really. It's coming home right now. It is 100% coming home. Look at the numbers out from both of these guys. 47 on one side, 58 on the other. Plenty of them in Q. Mangonel looking to come out. There's lots of melee units at the front. You got to be careful here, MarineLorD. If you're thinking about it, he is thinking about it off the top rope. He's going to find a nice little shot there. Hits about 6 or 7 of them. Keep going to be coming up. Nowhere near as aggressive as he wanted. Behind this, looking to get walls up as well. Keep in mind, if he's able to get these walls up, it guarantees the integrity of his base, and he can look for trade as well. Could be thinking about going for a trade landmark. Don't mind if I do. Trade for me, trade for you. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And speaking of trade for you, how about no? Computer says no. Except this time it's not the computer, it's Puppy Paw, and he's still saying no. But MarineLorD, he's saying no to the raid. He says, sit on down, my friend. Is that relics? Are relics getting picked up? Never mind, we're 2 and 3 apiece at this point. I haven't even been paying attention to the relics. There's been too many villagers dying in this game. An absolute bloodbath. Sacred Site's going to be the next thing up here. As Puppy Paw begins to take them, keep in mind on this map, there are only 2 sacred sites. He gets in on the wood line here. These vills do have their textile upgrades. No improved textiles, as you would expect. It's not the most common upgrade. But we start to see spring emplacements making their way back. MarineLorD doing a really solid defense here. MarineLorD actually, it's a masterclass from MarineLorD on this defense. This has been really... I think the most important thing from MarineLorD's perspective is that it feels like he's kept a very cool head. Every fire, he just turns up. He's like, all right, guys, you know the drill. We're going to pump all the water into the blaze. And that's what he does. And he just puts out the fires. And it's only now that he starts to actually look like he's got things under control. Because there's just been spot fires coming up everywhere. And speaking of spot fires, in Australia at the moment, it is getting hot. It is getting hot. El Nino has been declared. They have formally declared that today. It is getting hot in Australia. So if you're out there, make sure you're drinking some water. Because, well, it's not looking pretty. And you know what's kind of crazy is like we're at the very beginning of spring, right? We've just come out of winter, and the average temperature should be somewhere around like 19 degrees, 20 degrees. And today we had 35 degrees. That's nice. That's nice. That's a lot. That's quite a lot. But speaking of a lot right now, villagers towards that top side look like a massacre might come down. Doubtful that the castle gets up. The ones on the backside will be able to secure it. And indeed, this keep comes up. He locks down the gold, but the question is, why? Why does he need to? If his enemy is gathering gold through trade, is the gold even relevant? Sure, the gold's nice, but you got gold here, you got gold there, you got a little bit of gold everywhere. So it's definitely a worthwhile cause, but the question's going to be, was it really that worthwhile? That, emphasizing that, because we said it was worthwhile. We just questioned how worthwhile it was. Anyway, we've now got a little bit of a problem here. MarineLorD has taken the villager lead. He's up by 20 villagers, down on the military though. But keep in mind, he does have the Keshiks, which gives him a slight advantage there. The Ghulam numbers are looking good though, up to 19 Ghulams. And a really interesting army comp coming out from Puppy Paw here. Something that we've not seen, or at least I've not seen for, I don't think ever. Ghulam plus Archer. He's not mixing anything else in. It's just that. I mean, a couple of spearmen, they might go a long way. But the archers, I'm sure, will make short work of them. Raid on the backside looks to get cleaned up by the Ghulams. Keep in mind, these guys did some decent damage over there. Down to 48 worker kills as well for MarineLorD. And now Ghulams on the front side. Look at them pushing through. It's a little bit hard because we've got the stealth forest. We've got a couple of trees there. But they do hold on that front line. Kurultai going to be coming up, and the single Ghulam stops it. He says, get on back, my friend. This ain't your town. This ain't your neighborhood. The torch comes down as well. That keep still holding strong. And we can see Puppy Paw starting to build out this central location. A little bit of a standoff on the north side. Shaman v Imam. We're reliving the glory days of the 1400s again, the 1500s. Somewhere around that. And now the numbers are really turned. Remember what was just happening barely 3 minutes ago. Look at the archer difference. 71 archers against 17. Right now, MarineLorD needs a miracle. And you know what miracles start with? They start with M. And you know what starts with an M? Mangonels. I see one mangonel. I hear the other one. They're being built in the north. If there is a single unit that can turn the tide at this point in the game, it is the mangonel. Look at the difference. 93 versus 26. MarineLorD's miracle mangonel. The trade wing goes down for Puppy Paw. He's in his enemy's base, going to Imperial, laughing at him. As the mango hits from the top rope and the bottom rope, it comes in from both angles right now, looking like something out of an adult-rated film. It is just disgusting as all the archers get wiped out completely down to 37, and Puppy Paw tabs back in, and he's like, oh God, what happened to my damn archers? They've all gone down. Puppy Paw, it was the wrong time to be alt-tabbed, brother. You just lost your entire army. He's down to 28 archers in the blink of an eye. Puppy Paw, not a good time, mate. Save it for after the event, my dude. Wow. Whew. What happened there? He just threw it all away. You know, we've talked a lot about basketball, but I'll be honest with you. I'm not one of those true fans. I'm not like a real basketball fan. But I wish that I knew of some sort of reference I could make about a team in basketball that made it all the way to the playoffs, and in the last game they threw, or something like that. Like they had a 30-point lead and then they threw it in the last quarter. It would have been exactly like that. Puppy Paw right now throwing it in the last quarter. MarineLorD catching it though. I mean, at this point, Puppy Paw has still got a pretty decent lead, right? The populations are even. Eco's not that different. Actually, let's calc the ecos at the moment. Check in with them. It looks like we've got about 2,800, 5,200, 5,300 in here. Coming up on the other side, about 4.2k. So 4.2k versus 5.2k, relatively even, about 20% different, 25% different. So still, MarineLorD's quite a bit ahead, I would say, when it comes to the economies. But there's a couple of other factors that we need to consider, like the active game state. And if there's anyone who's got an advantage, it is definitely Puppy Paw, as he takes both sacred sites and begins to make way for that sacred victory, having cleaned up that earlier disagreement between the Imam and the Shaman. South side, look at this. I feel like I'm watching a game. Who do I feel like I'm watching? There's a player that just runs units into the base of everybody, just one unit at a time, a single speed. Oh, that's right, MarineLorD, that's the guy. I feel like I'm watching MarineLorD play against himself right now. Puppy Paw is all over this map as he reaches Imperial Age as well. MarineLorD is going to be looking for those upgrades. Let's see which route they go. It's going to be for elite Ghulams, elite archers. They're not messing around, getting some extra armor on the traders as well. Don't mind me. Has he looked to throw down any traders yet? I don't even see any markets getting thrown down just yet. Continuing to push through with the archers on the other side. Upgrades, elite Keshiks, elite crossbowmen, and plate cutter point coming in. That's some expensive upgrades right there for MarineLorD. The Mangonel, the Springled. Puppy Paw just looking to throw away these units. I tell you what, it hasn't been a cohesive push from Puppy Paw. It's just been spot fires everywhere. You got to go for that big bad bushfire, Puppy Paw. Just roll over the top of your enemy. But he hasn't really been doing it. I mean, look at this though. Just little scatterings of elite archers everywhere. Do we see any additional upgrades starting to come through? A culverin on the way. That'll definitely go quite far towards that. Where's the university at though? I don't see it down just yet. Let's go for a bit of a zoom out here. I don't see the university. We need those upgrades. Come on, let me see them, Puppy Paw. On the other side, it's roller shutter triggers. Doesn't look like the upgraded version just yet. Keep in mind, you can actually get... Oh no, it is improved roller shutter triggers. I take it back. Why doesn't it denote that it's improved? Oh, wait, it's not improved. It's just that it's all over here in the it's a bit confusing. I'm a bit confused. Excuse me, I'm a drongo. All right, so current game state, relatively healthy for Puppy Paw, I would say. I am fearful. I'm fearful. Oh my god, I'm fearful! Oh my god, MarineLorD! We've talked about the miracle of the Mangonel, and now he looks to try and make it possible. On that front line as the mangoes begin to unfold, he's got a single culver at the back, and he's like, that's quite a bit of work there for you, Mr. Culverin. He's scrounging his way back. He's trying to get out. He's like, I picked off too much. This is way more than I can chew. The Culverin still trying. He's going to turn the Ghulams around. The Culve's got to go down. The Springled's got the shots off, and that leaves the army uncontested right now. The Mangonels will reign supreme as MarineLorD all of a sudden looks like he might be getting himself into 5th gear. Bombard out for Puppy Paw, but unfortunately he's put the horse before the wagon, cart before the wagon, the horse before the wagon, wagon before the horse. You guys get the point, right? Like, he's getting ahead of himself. It's like, mate, you're not sieging down anything. You don't even have siege control yet. Calm down, mate. Like, what are you going to be taking out with your bombard? All that's going to happen is the roller shutter triggers are going to come in and pew, 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 and that's it. That's the sound that they make. Listen carefully. You will hear it. It's like you're watching Star Wars, except in the 1300s. Pew, 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 pew. Pew. Pew, pew. There you go. There you go. That's the added sound effects that you get. Ghulam numbers starting to build. We still don't see those university upgrades coming through for Puppy Paw. Puppy Paw. I don't want to mention the time, but I've already done it now, just by saying this. I was going to say, I don't want to mention the time. Oh, the mango shot was coming towards the back. Maybe I don't mention the time. Who knows? But you all know what I was thinking of. Oh my god, the Mangonels! MarineLorD's miracle Mangonels finally paying off. He's clean. I say finally paying off. It's already paid off twice over this game. I tell you what, if there was ever an investment to get ahead of the game on, it was the Mangonels of MarineLorD. If you invested in these early, you are 10xing your investment on these guys. And you know the best part is, like, We haven't even sold at this point. But you know what they say. If it's good enough to screenshot, it's good enough to sell. So let's see it. Come on. Let's take your screenshot. Oh, there's the mangoes. Never mind. That's not the mangoes. That's the sprinkles. That's the mangoes. Big shot comes. I think the mangoes took out the bombard right there. Boiling oil coming out. It's going to look to try and focus down these units. Elite archers coming through from MarineLorD as well. And there it finally comes through. Incendiary arrows for Puppy Paw. It's a little bit late though. 35 minutes into the game. He's been Imperial for at least, what, 5 minutes now? Maybe even 6 minutes. Maybe even 6.5 minutes. Come on. Come on. Boiling oil. Definitely doing some decent damage here, but he has no response to these mangonels, except for a whole horde of angry villagers carrying gold sacks on their backs. He says, get out of my land! Unfortunately, not all of the villagers screamed at the same time the same thing. Some of them said, you're free, sir, you may stay. But the other one, he has to leave. And he left. This guy stayed, but he paid the ultimate price. Finally, 35 minutes into the game, Puppy Paw gets the memo about stopping the enemy trade. Remember, we talked about this earlier. We said, you can slow the enemy trade or you can stop the enemy trade. And what Puppy Paw was doing was slowing the enemy trade. But my fear is that it may be too little too late. Has the trade already... Has it already paid off at this point? I mean, we've seen a wonderful gold income. It is slowing to a crawl here, but all the battering rams going to turn up towards this north side. 9 battering rams out at the moment. Still looking to push through. Where's the mangonels? He needs mangonels. There's one in the queue. That's all he's got. He's looked for a miracle earlier. He's found 1. He's found 2. Will he find a 3rd miracle? Where is that mangonel? And now we're here. Was that a sacred site? Oh my god, the sacred sites are approaching. Get out of town. This game's got it all. Just when I thought MarineLorD was finally getting ahead, the stone walls come up, the sacred sites go down, and all of a sudden MarineLorD's stuck with a mangonel and a mirage. It looks like a dream, but unfortunately it's not there. The only thing right now Puppy Paw needs is a culverin, and he's got one. It's somewhere out here. I've got no idea where. There it is. It's in the middle. As long as he can protect this against the hand cannoneers, he should be fine. But that's 11 hand cannoneers. I don't like that. He's out of position. If he takes out the culverin, his army is left uncontested at the north. Mangonel's up here. Culverin manages to come out safely. Battering ram making its way through. Hand cannoneer numbers are starting to resume. I say starting to resume, but we're starting to build, rather, as gold income resumes at 3,100 per minute, mind you. Up towards that north side. It looks like the re-wall is going to come in. That's going to bait back those battering rams that we did see making their way towards the center. And now you're in a tough spot as MarineLorD. Do I go for the center where the sacred sites are, or do I go and clean up this naughty little boy towards the north side? And it looks like he's just going to commit towards the center, which is definitely the right call for now. And now MarineLorD kiting away against Puppy Paw. Puppy Paw going to be trying his best to defend this. The villager's going to get pulled. They don't have their textile upgrade yet. 37 minutes into this game. Who needs textiles when I've got chemistry, sir? Well, I can assure you they are very important parts of the tech tree, and both of them should be researched. You can't just be a chemist in the Imperial Age without clothes. It doesn't work. I've tried it. It's... I shouldn't say I've tried it. That makes it sound like... I assure you, sir, I was in the laboratory. I wasn't wearing clothes. I suffered multiple burns. It did not go well. Look at the numbers, though, coming out from the backside. MarineLorD, the mangonel, the miracle. Does he find it? Does he find it? MarineLorD, look at this clump of archers begging to be damaged. Mangonel on the south side looking to come back at it. At the same, towards the north side, uncontested, back towards the south. Mangonel, don't tell me we missed the shot. Never mind, it doesn't matter. The culverin's going to be able to take it out. Battering rams coming through, looking to find that chemistry. He says, keep your clothes on, sir, but don't worry about the... Don't worry about the lab. This game is absolutely ludicrous. One of the best games I've ever had the pleasure to cast, let alone watch. I gotta say it right now, as we close out 60 seconds towards what may be a sacred site victory. If you haven't already, check out EGC TV this weekend. It is happening 15 GMT, Saturday, Sunday, every single weekend for the next foreseeable future. Tune into EGC TV. They are there. They are back. I will be there with them. Make sure you come say good day, because I tell you what, as this game ramps up, nothing is better than when the action is live. So come over, come say good day. And now that culverin looks to hold, and I don't think there's any possible way that Puppy Paw is losing this one. Even though MarineLorD's got the numbers on the village account, I tell you what, when it comes to the military, there's no way he holds this. 33 seconds in, unless there's a miracle. Where's the mango? Where's the mango? I can't see it. I can't see it. And Puppy Paw manages to grind out MarineLorD after an absolute insane game. An absolutely ludicrous game. coming out here. More villagers running towards the north. Look at this. He's found another way through. And now MarineLorD, he's got nothing left. The battering ram's going to come through. There's nothing on the north side. And that's good game. Puppy Paw going to take the victory, take the W off MarineLorD. One of the best in the world, fellas. If you've enjoyed this game, make sure you check out EGC TV. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can watch it. I'll remind you once again to like the video if you did enjoy it. I'll tell you what, I enjoyed casting it. That was an absolute cracker of a game. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.